Hey, all you tuggers and tuggettes. Remember when we said we had something special for you this season? Well, here it is. We are really excited to announce that support for these unprecedented gays is brought to you by Manscaped, providing the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
And I'm about to pick it up, girl, because, Paul, you know Manscaped Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. You can join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you.
For me?
For you! 20% off and free, guess what? Worldwide shipping, because we are what? Global. So you're going to use the code TUGAYS, and that's TUGAYS at manscaped.com.
6 million men. Now, if my math is correct, that's like 12 million balls.
That's a lot of balls.
That's a lot of balls.
We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, featuring Joe Granelli and Paul Smith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review wherever you stream your podcasts. Check us out on Instagram at tugayspod and email us at tugayspod@yahoo.com. We hope you enjoy. Okay, so I wanted to really, when this started, I wanted to do like a voice, because we've been watching Two Broke Girls, and Jennifer Coolidge is on it, and she plays like Sophie Kaczynski, which is a Polish character, and I wanted to be like, "Hey, everybody!"
I don't watch this show.
Oh God, you should watch it. Okay.
Wait, Two Broke Girls?
Two Broke Girls? Yeah.
Is that the one where they're the waitresses?
Yes.
That was a long time ago.
Well, like 10 years ago. Calm down.
That was a decade. That was a decade ago.
Well, I'm Paul.
Oh, and I'm Joe. Hi.
And we're These Unprecedented Gays. Yeah. How was your week, Joe?
A lot happened.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, not a lot happened. But, so we saw you this weekend.
Yes.
I feel like we're seeing each other often. It's like we're friends outside of this podcast. Do you think people would believe it?
No.
It's just for the show, guys.
Right.
We don't actually like each other. No, so we went and saw, Bros?
Yes.
The Bros movie. And I thought it was actually kind of fun.
It was cute.
I think Billy, what's his name?
Eichner.
He talks a lot.
Yes.
And also during the whole entire movie, I was like, is this how people perceive me? Because he's like nonstop chatterbox, and I was like, oh, maybe this is a note for me to just stop talking. And then we also did Red Dress, so that was really fun.
I know, you guys did.
Mm-hmm. Nick finally agreed to do that, so he actually had a blast. But my favorite part was when we were getting ready, he was like, I'm gonna do makeup, and I was like, okay, cool. And he told me he was gonna do a smoky eye. And so, he's in my bathroom. I'm sitting out in the living room, on my couch or whatever. And he comes out and he goes, how do I look? And I was like, that's definitely makeup.
There's makeup on your face.
There's eyeshadow. And there's a lot of room for improvement on that one. And it definitely looked a little burnt. So that's basically all. What about you? What have you been up to?
I mean, it's been a kind of a basic week. We went and saw Bros. That was the highlight of the weekend, of course.
Well, and you guys didn't even have popcorn.
Do we what?
You didn't have popcorn at the movie.
No, because we're on low carb. So.
Yeah. But so I got the fake chicken nuggets, and they weren't that bad.
At the theater?
Yeah.
They have
the
Beyond Chicken Nuggets?
It's something
Impossible?
Impossible Meat Chicken Nuggets.
Okay.
They tasted just like real chicken nuggets. And they reminded me of the chicken nuggets that they served at the bowling alley when I was in 8th grade. The same kind of ranch and everything, so they were pretty tasty.
Oh, good.
So it's nostalgic. At AMC with Nicole Kidman. My favorite part was Andy was like, now comes Nicole Kidman and her jumpsuit. And I was like, I really want that outfit though. Her pinstripe jumpsuit.
Yeah.
It's a look. And I love how she's just hanging out there in the middle of nowhere. So it's just like super funny.
All right. Well, so that means we can get to our favorite segment,
Yes.
which is mouth to mouth. Mouth to mouth resuscitation. And then while we get into this, we want to make sure that we introduce that we have a special guest on this week.
Do.
His name is Chris Barney. Say hi, Chris.
Hi, everyone.
So he
didn't say hi, Chris. You're supposed to say hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
So he is joining us to talk about our special topic for today, which is going to be cryptocurrency. But he is a friend of our producer, Nick. And so,
friend of the pod.
We want to have you participate in our special segment. It's called Mouth to Mouth. It's what's giving us life. So think about it. We're going to get to you because I'm going to ask you what it is. It could be food. It could be, TV show, movie, anything that might be happening in your life, all that kind of stuff that you're obsessed with. All right. So I'm going to start.
Okay. So how many do you have?
I have one.
Oh, that's so unlike you.
I know, but it's the Great British Baking Show is back.
Okay.
And on Netflix, and I'm in love with the show, so because it makes me feel good.
Okay.
Especially because we've been watching Dahmer, and so it's a great way for me to
I feel like those mix a little bit though, like because you're watching Dahmer and then also British Baking Show.
Well, it's a good way for me to get the feel of Dahmer off of me, because it's heavy. Mm-hmm. But so there's two cute guys.
Okay, that's why.
I love Janusz. Who's
what's that?
Janusz,
okay.
I think his name is, and he's a Polish, a guy from Poland. He's a Polish. Sorry to our Polish listeners, and but he's so cute. And then there's another one called James, and he is from Scotland or
That's
Ireland.
A very British
he had a
name.
kilt on.
Oh,
the first week in the tent, and it was like, okay.
Did he pitch a tent in his kilt in a tent?
Well, I was like, can a breeze come through and blow it up like Marilyn Monroe so we can check to see if he's wearing underwear or not?
But is that which network is it on? Netflix?
But it's on the BBC and or maybe it's Channel 4 now. I know they moved. So
okay. Didn't Dahmer? I was thinking Dahmer has naked scenes in it. I think there's naked men.
Yeah,
penis.
Yes.
Because I was like, Netflix? Or maybe it's not Dahmer. Is it Dahmer?
No, it's Dahmer.
Okay.
You saw that episode.
Did you finish it? Did you finish the series?
No.
I stopped at episode 6, and I had to pick it back up.
Oh, okay.
But,
so what are you obsessed with?
Well, you're going to laugh at me because this is the stupidest thing. So the first one is actually not stupid. So I've heard of this show. It's called I Survived. And it's on A&E. And it's basically first-hand accounts of people who have survived these traumatic events that have almost died. And they open the first episode where some woman is shot in the head 14 times, and it's her interview, and she's obviously alive. But it's very well done. So I'm obsessed with that because it's these people are basically on the brink of death, and then they come back, and so it's a happy ending because they're alive.
They lived. Yeah.
And then the other thing that I'm obsessed with is researching carnivorous plants. So let me tell you why.
Okay.
So I told you, you're what the fuck are you doing? So I had a couple gnats in my apartment, and it always seems there's a fruit fly or something, just I can't seem to get rid of them. So I was okay, what can I do? And I was talking to my mom this past weekend, and she's you should get a Venus flytrap. And so then I was okay, I Googled, do Venus flytraps kill gnats? And they were yes, but these other two are actually much better at it. So then I was oh, okay. So then I went on YouTube, and I watched all these, slow motion action videos where these, carnivorous plants, roll up flies in their leaves, and they, devour them. And now my algorithm on YouTube is real weird. But then I also purchased some, so I don't know when they'll be here, but so I got and the website was called predatoryplants.com. So that's what I'm obsessed with.
So, Chris, you had time to think about it. What are you obsessed with right now?
So this show I've been watching lately I really love is called Welcome to Wrexham. So the premise is Ryan Reynolds and this guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia bought a soccer team in Wales. Basically the worst soccer team in the entire United Kingdom. And they pump all this money in and try to like turn it around. I don't know if they've turned it around yet. Not that far into the show, but it is amazing. And it's like this like kind of like manufacturing coal town city, Wrexham, that it's based in. And all these people, like the one thing in life that brings them joy is this soccer team. And their soccer team has been in the bottom for like 10 years or more. And so they're like putting all their hopes into Ryan Reynolds resurrecting this team, and they start doing these parades dressed up as Deadpool and all stuff. It's pretty interesting. It's really cool. It's like kind of documentary style.
Oh, okay, but like, is it like an actual thing?
It's an actual thing. It's a real soccer team, and they actually really did buy the team.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Is it like a documentary?
It's kind of
it's like a documentary style.
What? How do you watch it?
Hulu has it. It's on Hulu.
Oh,
from FX.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What Wrexham?
Welcome to Wrexham.
That's a hard. Welcome to Wrexham. It's a hard thing to say.
So, all right, everyone. So we have Chris on here. He's going to talk to us about cryptocurrency because Joe and I know
experts.
Absolutely, positively, like nothing about this.
I would say I know maybe like one fact.
Okay. So, Chris, why don't you tell our listeners about you and why we are talking to you, because you're somewhat of an expert in this.
Yeah. So the great thing about crypto is that nobody's really an expert, because it's just there's so much to learn, and so many people know so little about it. You can know like maybe 1 or 2%, and you're pretty much an expert. So that's kind of where I'm at, is like, I know enough to sound like I know a lot, but it is definitely more than the average person. So it's really great. But I started working in crypto almost a year ago. And before that, I worked in investment banking, and before that, I was in politics. I'm one of those people who just likes to change careers all the time. So who knows what I'll do in the next 5 years? Probably something completely different. Probably. I might have to work out a little bit more to get to that level, but
no, you don't. Body positivity movement.
That's right. Well, I also am a very bad dancer, so there's another negative. But
hey, there's a niche for anybody, honestly. Bad dancing dad bod strippers, you got your niche.
Maybe you can sell your feet on WikiFeet or something. You know, maybe you'll be a foot model.
That's right. But I'll tell everyone I'm an entrepreneur, right?
There you go. My own business, right? They make good money, honestly.
So I've been doing it for about a year, which means I'm pretty much a veteran now. And it's a really interesting market. It's a lot of fun, and there's just so much to learn. There's so much that can happen, so much possibility. It's really it's a fun industry to be a part of.
So for our listeners, because we just need to spell it out, especially for me, because I don't really know. So what is cryptocurrency?
Awesome. Yes. Great place to start. So cryptocurrency, I think taking one step further back, is understanding what is blockchain. So blockchain is literally a ledger, a decentralized ledger of transactions. That's kind of where it started from. The movement started with Bitcoin, is that you have this record of transactions made, and it's stored on many different computers over a network. And it's called a blockchain because you are literally adding new blocks to this chain that are new records of information, and it just keeps growing. It's like a document that just never ends and just keeps building upon itself and moves perpetually. So that is what a blockchain is. That's the technology that kind of underlies the whole thing. And cryptocurrency is kind of it's a currency that keeps that moving. It's what is traded. It's the value that's traded on that blockchain, and which is created on that blockchain, that makes this all possible to have the blockchain be viable and be worth something.
Every time he says blockchain, people should take a shot, because I love it.
We don't want to kill our listeners. Paul, We don't want to kill our listeners. I love how you're representing the new listener now.
I am, because I'm like,
We're usually roles.
I know, usually I'm the one who's like, I have all the information, but now I'm like, oh wait, no, I don't have any information.
How does it feel?
It feels good. So it starts with a blockchain, and then that is what creates the cryptocurrency.
Yep. Is that the secret, the secret key that people have to break or whatever?
Yep, that's right. So I think what you're referring to is like mining. You've probably heard of before. So where the crypto part comes in is that these miners have computers that try to solve very difficult algorithms, and if they solve it first, then they get to write the next block, and they win the award of the next cryptocurrency. And we'll just stick with like Bitcoin as the main example here. They win the next Bitcoin. So that's how the Bitcoin is created and how it's maintained, and people are able to mine and win and get the next value.
I had no. Okay.
I knew that it was like they needed computers to solve problems that created Bitcoin, but I'm like, every time I hear miners, I think of Loretta Lynn, who just passed away, R.I.P. And I'm like, I want somebody to come up with a song called Crypto Miner's Daughter.
Did she do these boots are made for walking?
No,
I thought
that's Nancy Sinatra.
No, Loretta
Lynn.
Oh. Or maybe it's Loretta Devine?
No, I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay, so how is that, and how is Bitcoin and all that different from like an NFT?
Oh, perfect. So that was a great question. So the NFT literally means non-fungible token, and which is just a nice economic way of saying that it represents one specific thing. So Bitcoin is fungible because each Bitcoin is the same. They're interchangeable. You don't care if you have Bitcoin 1 or Bitcoin 2,513. There's no difference. But an NFT, there's only one NFT, and it represents one thing specifically. So, for example, I think a really cool thing is the most valuable NFT artwork, at least that I know of, there might have been a new one since then, was the artist Beeple sold an NFT of an artwork he produced, which is this really cool collage of all these smaller works that he did over, like, I think it was like 3 years. And Christie's auctioned it, and it sold for, I think it was like $28 million. So that what he sold
28.9 million, yeah.
He just sold an NFT, and what it meant is that whoever now owns that NFT owns that artwork, and which means that NFT points to that artwork as the ownership was for whoever purchased it. So NFT's main utility is being able to show that something is owned by one person.
Oh, okay. So it's
not,
but this is like a digital ownership. It's not like, but nobody else can own this, piece of digital artwork.
Yep.
Okay.
And don't you have to? And I feel like they're obviously separate things, but for NFTs, you have to buy it with cryptocurrency.
Exactly. Yep.
That's how it feeds into each other.
Oh, see, it's like
so it's not, but NFTs. Well, oh god, this is gonna get real complicated real quick. But can you use NFT as a currency, or do you have to sell it to get a value and then use that as like a Bitcoin?
Yeah. Second, it's more. I would think of it as more as an artwork or a collectible, and then
like an item. Okay,
an item. Yeah, and then your currency would be more like your traditional like money that you would be trading.
But where does it get how do people put like a number on that stuff? Because the guy sold it for $28 million or something like that. But like, also, didn't Justin Bieber buy something like a gorilla or something for a large amount or something like an NFT? Like, where do are these numbers that they're coming up with just like, just doesn't make any sense? It's just, okay, whatever you want to pay is what you're going to pay.
Yeah, exactly. It's what they want to pay is what they pay. So I think he either was a Bored Ape Yacht Club or was Bored Ape Mutant Bored Ape Yacht Club, one of those things, which are very popular NFTs. A lot of celebrities have them. I think Bieber has one. I think Kim Kardashian bought one. Maria Sharp. I don't know. There's a lot of slippers been buying these because they're very exclusive. There's a limited number and they're very popular. And I think there's like additional benefits besides owning the NFT, the artwork. You also like get invited to like special parties or access to certain restaurants. There's a lot of like side benefits that for me are not worth millions of dollars because I don't have $1 million. If I had some extra, I guess I would maybe try to buy one of those. But there's some side benefits to it. But
see, I did not know there was like a whole little like group of people that you hung out with who sold NFTs and bought NFTs.
Yeah, I think
for $1.29 million. Oh my god!
There's an actor that's actually producing a movie, and I forget the actor's name. That he's producing a movie based off of his Bored Ape. The Bored Ape is the main character, and there's a lot of cool things. People are able to license their Bored Ape to do things in different media.
Okay.
And so
there's
a lot of cool stuff they can do.
Get into a Bored Ape. Well, but how? So I guess like the 1.29 million. How did they get that value? Like, was it just like someone who owned it was like, oh, hey, I'm going to sell it?
Is it
for
just
this
arbitrary?
value?
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
they come up with that number and they're like, this is what we're going to sell.
Can you imagine doing like 1 minute or however long it takes to make it, like maybe a day, and it's like this is $50 million.
Well, Christie's is an auction house, so they started a number and then go off that. But then how do you auction off an NFT and then authenticate it to make sure that you're getting what you're supposed to be getting?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Good question.
So I own a couple NFTs. I haven't gone deep into owning a lot of them, but there are, they call NFT exchanges where you can go buy an NFT. The most popular one is OpenSea. C is SEA, not with the letter C, but SEA, OpenSea. Another one is Looks Rare, and then Coinbase NFT has one as well. So you can go here and you can look for the collections that are interesting to you. You can find NFTs that you think look cool, and they have prices of what people are putting up for sale. Sometimes they'll do it like auction style, or they'll just set a price. It's very like eBay-esque style of going in to buy your cryptocurrency, to buy your NFT. And they usually have prices listed in the cryptocurrency that matches the NFT and dollar amount, so you can quickly see what the difference would be.
So I have a question because we're looking at it right now.
CryptoPunks.
OpenSea.
CryptoPunks, yes.
And
I feel like we're on the dark web. Do you feel like we're on the dark web right now?
a little
bit. Like, I feel like the feds are going to kick your door open.
So I see that there are prices next to it, and it says ETH. That means it's for Ethereum, right?
That's right, yep. So you know some
look
stuff.
at me.
Yeah,
what's Ethereum?
Look at that.
It's like the second most popular Bitcoin behind Bitcoin.
Oh, so it's another currency.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord.
But like, what is it? But underneath it or beside it, there's like a floor price. Mm-hmm. I don't get what that. I don't know what that.
How much is an
means.
Ethereum?
I don't know.
One ETH.
There's a lot of conversion.
One ETH is about $1,300 right now.
Oh wow!
And the floor price is usually the lowest cost NFT within that collection. So you can see how you can be like, oh, this is the cheapest one.
Wait,
is
what's
this.
322?
It kind of gives you like a barometer there to see if you're making a big deal or not.
So oh my god, they're asking $418,000 for this thing.
Yeah, that like 8-bit looking picture of a punk, the CryptoPunks. Yeah, those are very popular right now.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
So now, where do you store your NFTs?
That is also a great question. So if you're doing cryptocurrency or NFTs, you need a wallet, a digital wallet, and
like my Apple Wallet.
Kind of, not quite like Apple Wallet. Apple doesn't offer one yet, unfortunately. But there's like it kind of is like that. There's services that offer wallets like MetaMask or Coinbase or a few other companies that they basically hold your digital assets for you. And
are they secured?
Yes, they are secured.
Financially secured, I mean.
You can research your individual ones. Some are more secure than others.
Okay.
So you can research which one
Okay.
you're most comfortable with. But usually the
Okay.
wallet services are usually free to set up a wallet and to
Okay.
use. But basically, when you mark yourself, or when you purchase either cryptocurrency or NFT and have that written on the blockchain that you own this thing, you have a wallet. It's a long string of numbers and letters, and that's really what the wallet is. It's just a long stream of numbers and letters. And what these services do is keep track of that long stream of numbers and letters for you, and also the key that unlocks it. So you need your wallet and your key to your wallet to do a transaction on the blockchain.
Can it get hacked?
Yeah, it happens quite a bit. So, but usually it's through not on-chain hacking is pretty. I need to back that up. It can get hacked.
Okay.
But it's the wallet providers are pretty secure, I would say very secure. But like usually when there's a hack, it's because someone's been phished and they've given up their information inadvertently. Like email and like
normal hacking.
Like normal hacking, those kind of like email password selling hacking. Yeah.
Standard hacking.
Standard hacks. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I think we need to put out there that if to all of our listeners out there listening, like this is not like financial advice. Like we're not trying to tell you or sell you or anything on cryptocurrency. We're just talking about because I know nothing about this, and I'm like, oh, AMC got their own.
Paul, if
Bitcoin?
Listeners think this is
Those are mine.
Oh, those are yours? Nick owns NFTs.
What?
AMC NFTs.
Way to go,
Because I
Nick.
own AMC stock.
Oh, look at you, Nick. You're so digital. I love it. Okay, so besides Bitcoin and NFTs, are there any other kind of cryptocurrencies, or are those the main two?
Yeah, so your main one is Bitcoin and Ethereum, which Ethereum is pretty cool and unique compared to, it has a lot of differences to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very transaction-based. Ethereum opens up a whole world of new possibilities because they have put in some new protocols. So that's where you're going to see most your NFTs is on Ethereum. But they also have these things called smart contracts that have allowed for other tokens to be created. They allow for automations to happen. So if a certain event takes place in the future, then you can have money moved or ETH moved from one wallet to another. And the possibilities are endless on what you can do to program on Ethereum. There's dApps, or I shouldn't say dApps. There are programs on Ethereum that allow for energy trading, like electricity trading. There's like weather things. There's news things. There's all kinds of stuff that's located on Ethereum. So Ethereum ETH is what runs at Ether. They call it ETH. But there are thousands of other tokens that have value that you can trade on Ethereum itself.
Is that like a Dogecoin?
Exactly, yeah. Well, Dogecoin is actually its own chain as well. There's many different chains, definitely like hundreds, maybe thousands. But there's also thousands of tokens that are built on top of those chains.
So
at least
like
10,000 or more.
Oh my god!
So we've already talked about because Bitcoin is obviously the number one provider of tokens within this cryptocurrency world, and then we have Ethereum, who I think is like number two.
Mm-hmm.
Who else are there big players within this realm?
Oh yeah, so I think the big ones to know about are definitely what you said: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then you have some like others that are kind of competitors to Bitcoin and Ethereum, like your Dogecoin, Solana, Polygon. What else is big coming up? Cardano. Those ones are kind of like competitors in being a platform that is what you would really call a coin that on there. But you also have the thousands of tokens that are built on top of there that you can trade. It's kind of endless, and you also have your stable coins that are usually built on top of those as well, like your Tether. You might have heard some of the news about Tether, USD coin. These are coins that are pegged to a fiat currency like the US dollar, or you also have stable coins that are pegged to like the euro. So what these stable coins claim to do is to have reserves in the actual fiat to back up what is on the blockchain. So you're always going to be $1 for one coin.
Okay, so I think we need to have
unpack.
So I think we need to have a vocabulary lesson, because I need to know what a stable coin is. Yes. I need to know what a fiat is. I mean, not the car.
I thought the same thing. I was like, is George Clooney going to hop out of a fiat?
And I've also heard fork or something. It's another word. What do all these words mean?
Awesome. So fiat is a government-backed currency. So dollar,
so money.
Euro, it's money. Your normal money, right?
By the government? Yep. But not the U.S. government.
But the U.S. government. So your dollar is called a fiat currency. Yep.
Okay. Wait, the U.S. government backs cryptocurrency?
No, just the dollar,
paper money,
like the paper.
Okay.
Federal Reserve note. So that's
okay.
To differentiate between crypto and government issued fiat. That's what we call it. Is a fiat is government issued dollars, yen, won, euro, all that kind of stuff. Peso. Then so cryptocurrency is not backed by the government. There's been some governments that have made it legal tender, and some states you can even pay your taxes in the U.S. in cryptocurrency. I think Colorado did that, but it's not technically a legal tender. It's not backed by the government. You are not forced to accept it if you're a merchant, like you would be if you were selling something. You would be forced to accept dollars in the U.S., but you can't be forced. But you can still accept crypto for purchases made in the U.S. For example, I have newborns, 3-month-old twins, and I bought their baby formula online in ETH using a ETH transaction. It was my first time buying an actual physical object with cryptocurrency.
Wow.
Even though I work in the industry, I was still hoping it showed up, and I'm not totally sure it would, but it did. It was kind of crazy.
Was that during the baby formula shortage? Did you have to resort to cryptocurrency on the dark web to get baby formula?
It was just after, and I actually bought it from Europe because they have
how funny!
It was an organic, fancy formula that's clean. My wife and I are really into this clean thing right now. We're trying to eat clean and all that stuff. So yeah, we want the babies to be clean, have clean. And did you?
Well, I mean, so the value, I guess, when you bought it, would it have been comparable to what you would have purchased in the store, or how? Because I mean, cryptocurrency is very, very fluctuating, right? Yeah. So, your, I guess, one share of crypto, whatever it is, I mean, might not go as far as it is. So, do you have to research, or how does that even work in terms of knowing what you can get and the value that you're having to pay for something?
Yeah. So when I made that purchase, it did a conversion for me. So I knew that the dollar price was $100. I think I bought 3 cans, and it told me it would cost this much in Ether based off the current market price. And that was I did the purchase through an exchange that I happened to use, and the exchange facilitated the transfer of funds back between my account and the seller's account.
Okay, so sorry, Paul. So theoretically, if you bought it on one day and the value of Ethereum goes down, and you bought it on the other day, you're paying more for the same item?
Yep. So if I was...
So it's kind of like when you go to different countries.
Yep, exactly.
But even buying the same thing. I guess my question was the volatility of it And the fact that it can fluctuate so much is you're not going to consistently potentially get the same value for what you're buying, and you may have to spend more on different days.
Yeah, if I was using
Or less.
or some other currency to, or less, like I hear Nick saying that. Yeah, if I were to do that daily, it could fluctuate a lot. And that is one of the things about having a new technology that's very volatile. And this might be a good place to put in to do a reiteration of the not a financial advice situation, but it's a volatile industry. But it's made a lot of progress in the last, I think it's several years. I think it's been around for like 15 years or so now. I have to check on that. Maybe Nick can double check, but it's made a lot of progress. But just like tech stocks or other like newer emerging new industries, you're going to see prices go up really high, really fast, like they did last year, and then you'll see them come crashing down really fast, like they have this year.
And then why was that? Because it was worth like, and on a whole, last year, tokens and cryptocurrency was riding at like 3 trillion. And now it's like not even worth 1 billion.
Yep.
As of right now, as a whole.
Yep.
Wait, crypto?
Yeah, cryptocurrency across the board. And why is that? I mean, is it all performance based? Is it because there's nothing tangible that, like fiat currency used to be, backed by gold or silver or something tangible, and now it's not. Cryptocurrency isn't. Is it just like we're playing with Monopoly money right now?
Yeah.
I hope not. I
just buy Boardwalk, you'll be fine.
Yeah. It's a lot, because it's such a volatile new industry. It responds to market changes a lot stronger than other industries would. So if you see,
like a stock market.
Yep, you see the stock market go down, it's probably going to be a multiple going down even faster than the stock market. If you see the stock market go up, it could be a multiple of going up faster than the stock market.
So is it like a long-term, like, I guess if you're looking at it from, this technology is new, but like, if you're like, hey, I'm going to invest now so that I can have money by my retirement, like long-term thinking, is that even something that is possible right now just because of how much change it is, like day to day, I guess, like week to week?
Yeah, let me put it this way. When I was, it was 2011, I was driving and my wife read me this article about Bitcoin, and it sounded like really cool to me. Like I loved the idea of the industry, like what was going on, the product, like Bitcoin sounded really awesome. And she's like, maybe we should buy some of this. And I was like, well, how much is it worth right now? And she said, it's worth $1. And I was like, well, it's not going to go, you're not going to have this coin be worth more than $1, which is completely irrational in my head, right?
Now.
And then when it was at like almost $60,000 last year, I was like, that was a very big mistake I made. And so, and that's a big change in just 11 years, going up 60,000 times. But, yeah, oh man, I hate thinking about that story. That makes me very sad.
If you had 100 shares and it was 60,000, how much would that be? 600 million?
I don't want to. Don't say it out loud.
That's a lot.
I don't want to hear the right number.
Well, you wouldn't need to work, and I would love if you would have given me 5. Thanks.
So I want to ask, like, what is the environmental impact of cryptocurrency? Because there are people who don't really agree with cryptocurrency and NFTs because of some environmental impacts that it has.
Yeah, I think that's a fair concern, definitely. And some of the cryptocurrencies are trying to address that, which I think is really cool to see. So Bitcoin does require a lot of electricity because basically the miners are competing off of processing power. That's kind of the bottom line. And what drives the processing power is electricity. So the more you're able to process, the more electricity you use, the more Bitcoin you theoretically will win. So it kind of becomes, they kind of chew up a lot of electricity. But other platforms have recognized that issue. Like Ethereum recently, just a couple of weeks ago, went through what they called the merge. There's this big thing where they went from what they call a proof of work, which is what Bitcoin does with the mining, electricity, the processing power, to proof of stake. So basically, Ethereum just cut down their energy use from being fairly high to nearly nothing.
So it's possible. Okay.
And the creator co-creator of Ethereum, he thinks that other platforms might follow suit as well. So hopefully we see that and kind of get away from this heavy environmental impact. But yeah, it does take up quite a bit. I think I read that in the U.S., Bitcoin uses about as much, has about the same environmental impact as the railroads do. The trains burning diesel fuel impact. So it's not small.
Wow.
Just
get a solar panel, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Elon Musk he's invested in Bitcoin. He has Tesla things. You're fine. He'll be good. So you mentioned the miners. I'm curious, like, who are these miners? Are they employed by like the Bitcoin companies, or are they just random people that have like computers that can crack this code?
Yeah, so anyone can mine. You could take your own computer, download the programming, and you could try to mine yourself. I don't know if you'll ever win one, but you could try it with your own computer.
But like some companies like try to get you to like, if you have a computer, they'll like, hey, if you let us run this program at night when you're not using your computer, we'll pay you, or if anything, the companies do that though, right?
Yep. That's called mine pooling, I believe is what it's called. So yeah, and then you get your own computer might not win it, but you kind of join forces with other people's personal computers, and you all, if one of you wins and you share the rewards, you're all pooled together, working together to do mining. But
so you get a Bitcoin if you win it.
You probably get a small fraction of a Bitcoin as you go, because it gets.
So you might get like $1,000 or whatever. Maybe.
I don't know the returns, but I have a friend who did it. I don't know if he actually ever made any money. I should really ask him about that. But yeah, he had his computer set up for
crazy.
it. But you also have really sophisticated companies that set up huge warehouses full of just processors, just stacks on top of each other, and they just run those like crazy to win. And some of them even companies that are publicly traded on the large stock exchange. So,
okay, so, and you may not be able to answer this, maybe you will, I don't know. But like, what kind of algorithms are they breaking that creates this digital currency?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I am not technical or mathematical like that. Obviously, I couldn't.
So you don't know the computational logistics behind the algorithm breaking that creates the blockchain coin?
I lost about 3 words in that sentence. Yeah, so
I know that's what I mean.
Blockchain.
There you go.
Coin. Crypto.
And all I know is that it's pre-programmed to be more difficult for Bitcoin specifically. It gets more difficult every time it's solved. And it's it's really difficult. I don't know, algorithmic something mathematical.
But do they just like press a button
solve.
And solve? Like, do they just say, "Hey, like run this program," and that it like does it automatically, or do you have to like input stuff into it?
It runs automatically. So you download the program and just keep running it. And that's
easy. We should start mining Bitcoin, Paul.
I don't think Paul's into it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm like they're on screen. They're putting up little like notes for us to ask them, and I'm trying to read it because I'm old.
Can we zoom in? Oh my god! Thank you so much.
So
what made? So what made you get into this? Like, what makes this more interesting than investment banking
or politics?
Or politics?
Oh man, well, I burnt out on politics. You just get so frustrated after a while, and you're just kind of like, all right, I'm out of here. And there's some elections that just
Trump.
didn't make me very happy. And so I was like, peace out. I'm out of here. Investment banking is super interesting too, but I kind of got what I wanted out of that, and I learned a lot. But it's also very demanding career where you're always on call, a lot of hours. It wasn't for me. A lot of people can like really just love it, and it becomes a personality or their mission in life. And it was not the right one for me. I kind of just luckily happened to find a job opening in where I am now, and I kind of honestly just kind of fell into it. I always kind of followed and had done a little bit of investing into cryptocurrency, so I was like really excited about it, and it kind of feels like being at a tech company in like around the 2000s, like when everything's just in the infancy and like we don't even know what's going to happen yet. Like 2000s, there's not even social media yet. No one even thought that was a thing to be with social media yet. But the technology was developing. People were saying, "What is email?" Figuring out what that meant. www. What? Like, what is? I don't know these things. That's where we are right now with cryptocurrency. There's so much potential in this technology, but we don't even know what that potential is yet. And there's still a very steep learning curve, just like we had with the internet, figuring out what this is, what it means for us, and what we can do with it. And I really just am excited about what some of these things are going to be that happen.
Well, so where does your role, I mean, don't divulge where you work, but like your role within your job, like where does that fall within like the cascade of like Bitcoin, like the blockchaining, the mining, the buying, like where do you kind of fall into the whole thing?
So I work for an exchange, and probably shouldn't get into what my specific role is.
No, don't. No, I asked you. I told you don't divulge.
I will not divulge. But,
name redacted.
So, but yeah, I work for an exchange, and I'm trying to think how to say it broadly, but I'm not really involved in like the mining or the coin. I kind of am more like an operational role within the exchange.
So with the potential of that you see within this, there's also the potential of scamming and stuff. Like, how easy is it for somebody to get scammed within cryptocurrency? Because like you had that, I was reading an article about like there was a coin based on Squid Game.
Oh yes,
where somebody was going to be doing something, and it kind of became like a Ponzi scheme in a way. So can you talk about like a little bit of that kind of, the darker side of cryptocurrency?
Yes.
And then we'll get into the dark web and the black market.
We try not to say dark web around cryptocurrency because so many people associate them together. Like we're trying to.
Oh, is that? Am I being
that.
Politically incorrect?
No, you're fine. It's a thing that, I mean, it's a thing that happens, and but the Squid coin, that's a classic rug pull. So since this industry is growing so fast, and there's a large amount of FOMO. People don't want to miss out on the next Dogecoin. Dogecoin just went up because Elon Musk tweeted about it. It went up like sky high out of nowhere, and people just made fortunes off of that. So no one wants to miss out on the next one of those, right? So the Squid coin or lots of other rug pull coins come through, and if you don't look at who the team is, you don't look at what they're actually going to do, or if they have any experience doing what they say they're going to do. Lots of these teams a lot of these people who create these coins are just issuing them to make money, and then they run away and don't actually do what they're going to say. So when I invest, I like to look deep into what's really going on. I like to personally stick to coins and tokens that are well established, and if I were to speculate, which I have before, on tokens that are very new in their infancy, I only do limited amounts. I don't invest very much at all, and try to make sure that they're legit non-scammy group of people that's behind it.
Okay.
So, keep going.
Well, I was going to talk about the so like, how do you feel about like celebrity endorsements of cryptocurrency? You know, because Kim Kardashian just got
For NFTs.
she just got fined for not divulging that she was doing an ad for cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
You know, and she got paid like $500,000, but she ended up having to pay like 1.6 million or something like that in fines. But like, how do you feel about that kind of thing? Like, where celebrities get into this space and they start tweeting about it, and it's almost like they're giving people, you know, kind of like, hey, here's some financial advice. You need to you know, invest in this kind of thing.
Or like it's an MLM.
Yeah.
I've heard that NFTs are men's MLMs.
that may be. We'll see if they stay up or not. But
Yeah.
I mean, Kim's made some poor decisions before, like marrying Kanye West. So,
Amen. I don't like her, so that's fine.
no, I think I've not been a fan of Kanye West ever since he interrupted Taylor Swift at the AMAs, and I've had
Let's go back.
many arguments with my brother.
Well, Chris
about
will not be wearing Yeezys.
But her issue, I think, was around not disclosing how much she was paid to promote it within her thing, like doing it correctly. But I mean, just be careful with celebrity endorsements. I mean, they obviously are not experts in the field, and I think just do your research as much as you can any time. I personally have found that when there's a lot of celebrities backing something, it's probably because there's not a very strong foundation in what they're backing as far as the cryptocurrency industry goes. It's kind of an attempt to quickly pump up the price by using a celebrity's cachet to do that. But
ew, gross.
That's
Okay.
my own 2 cents on that.
Very profound.
Will governments start regulating crypto, do you think? Because I know, like, is it Japan, I think it is trying to create their own cryptocurrency for themselves. But, like, do you think governments will start regulating it? Or will it, you know, and if that's the case, will it then become specific, kind of like fiat currency is right now, where, you know, there's the peso and the euro and everything where you go, it's something different. Will that then be something that will be required where if you're buying something from somebody in Europe and you're in the US, you kind of have to, you know, make it into that cryptocurrency based one? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know if it'll ever be legal tender in the US where you have to accept it. I think as it becomes more prevalent, at least I hope we'll see more merchants accept it as payment. It'll become more common. But there has been a lot of talk about regulation within the United States, and there's been regulatory bodies that are fighting over who gets to do the regulation. Lots of hearings on Capitol Hill about it. I don't think we're going to see any big news on rules this year. I read an article that said probably not this year, maybe next year. But there's something coming, and I think the industry generally would like to see good regulation come out, but not to stifle the industry. Like if we had strongly regulated the internet early on, in 2000, started putting a lot of rules on when we didn't even know what it was yet, the internet would not be where it is now. So let's be careful about what we're doing with cryptocurrency.
Interesting.
So what would you tell people are the pros and cons of cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I think the hardest con right now, I think, is just the learning curve. It's a lot to learn, and there's so many different there's a lot of terminology. There's so many 10,000 plus assets that you could potentially invest in, and that's not even including the NFTs that are there. It's a big field, and I think some good advice I got from somebody when I started my role was, don't try to learn everything. Just find something in it interesting within the whole blockchain sphere that you can become an expert in yourself, and then you can learn a little bit about everything else. Don't try to understand everything. It's like, okay, so that's helpful. So I think that's the con, is just there's a lot to learn and to understand it, which just kind of slows down the adoption widespread. But I think one really cool pro, I think, is just how easy it can make transfer of money from person to person. For example, if you want to transfer value across borders, or you want to transfer a cryptocurrency across borders, you don't have the same exchange issues that you do if you're trying to transfer money from a dollar to a euro or to a peso. You can send Bitcoin to, maybe if you have family in Mexico or another country that you support, you can send it to them through cryptocurrency. You have lower fees than if you're using like a MoneyGram or some other money transmission service. And you can also even have transactions that are cheaper and faster than credit cards. Credit card fees are usually like 2 to 3%, something like that, or more, depending on the card you're using. Some services within crypto can do that for just pennies for a transaction. So as it gets adopted, I think we can see a lot of cool things that really help people.
So you mentioned across other countries. I want to touch on the potential negatives of cryptocurrency being used, obviously not for good things. So like crime, like the black market or whatever. So like, how would you say that could be kind of, I don't want to say avoided, because it's just like cash, right? Cash isn't traceable.
Yep. Is
cryptocurrency traceable, or can you make it so that it's not traceable? And like, how would that then impact like the potential adoption of countries for cryptocurrency as tender?
Yeah, that's a great question. Man, you guys are hard hitting. Yeah, I've listened to some more of your podcasts, and I'm like, wow, they're way more lighthearted in those ones than this is like serious stuff.
Well, I mean, I was gonna like go ham. I asked Nick the other day. I was like, can I ask him if he personally would recommend cryptocurrency? And Nick was like, no. And I was like, fine. But I was like, I want to know about the black market. Like, what are we gonna do to fix that? Because people are buying organs with Bitcoin.
Yeah. But also we talked to somebody who was on OnlyFans. We talked to somebody,
we spread it out.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes we want to be the hard-hitting journalist. Sometimes we want to be Ricky Lake. Sometimes we want to be
the other person.
What's the Amanpour?
Who?
Christina Amanpour. So like sometimes you want to be them. You just never know. So
we take everyone on a journey in our episodes. So we might have one where we talk about assholes, and now we're talking about your potential future with cryptocurrency in the United States of America.
Yeah.
So we give them a variety. Got to keep them interested. Anyway, back to the black market.
Yes, black market. So I think because Bitcoin, or primarily Bitcoin, but cryptocurrencies have been used for black market transactions, it kind of has given crypto a black eye in some ways that I think is somewhat unfair. Those transactions could have also been done with, like mentioned, like with dollars or other currencies as well. But there obviously is the advantage of easy transactions through Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. But there's, on the flip side, because this is a record, there's a ledger of every transaction. You can see where the money goes. You can see where the Bitcoin's been transferred to. And in a few instances we've seen where the federal government has been able to track down theft of cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Because they have the ledgers there. You yourself can go to a blockchain explorer, is what they call them, and see every transaction that takes place. And if you can tie it
How easy is that to find?
You can go to like Etherscan. I don't know if it's .io or .com, and you can type in an address and see every transaction that's happened on that wallet. Or for Bitcoin export, like you can.
Oh God!
Anybody can see.
So they know what you're buying.
The only trick is that they don't know whose wallet is whose. So if the government's like, oh, we think this is the particularly in hacks, this happens is like when you hack the chain or able to steal some let's say Bitcoin, for example. If you happen to steal it somehow by the phishing attempt from somebody, you can see where it gets moved. It gets moved to another wallet that someone else owns. So if you can figure out who actually owns that wallet, then you have a paper trail, or not a paper trail, a digital trail of where that went. So I don't know if that's the main tool or what the federal government or the government agencies are going to be able to use to combat crime that uses cryptocurrency. But I think there's some things that are actually beneficial in this area for cryptocurrency versus having those negative transactions happen using dollars that are probably more difficult to trace.
Interesting. I'm just thinking right now where it's like you're looking at like a Venmo transaction and it's got like an emoji of like a gun and it's like murdered somebody.
Yeah, if you go into the
thanks for the pizza.
You go to the Blockchain Explorer, it has like those emojis on there, like, yeah, we killed someone. Like,
oh my god!
No, it's a bunch of ones and zeros,
just like a guy in cement. Oh man!
So, should people be leaving their regular jobs to pursue a job in cryptocurrency?
I did. So either I know crazy.
You did. That's why I'm asking.
Either I'm crazy. No, I've loved my job. I love the industry. I love the company I work for. I love my coworkers. So I mean, I'm super happy with my decision. I know some people who are full-time cryptocurrency traders. I don't think I have the stomach for that because it's such a volatile industry. If I was just trading for my livelihood, man, I'd be some days I'd be super, super happy, and some days I'd just be like not in my stomach, it'd drive me crazy. So I mean, I think a lot of if your involvement in cryptocurrency, I think you should always be very careful. Is you should never go beyond your own comfort levels of wherever that is. And if it just sounds too risky from the get-go, like, just don't mess with it. Don't say, oh, Chris Barney came on this awesome podcast and was like, hey, I need to like throw all my money in this. Don't come knock on my door because I won't have anything to replace it with. But I mean, if you're okay with a little bit of risk, you have some risk tolerance there. I moved into a somewhat risky industry, but I'm hoping that as we see it grow and evolve and become more common, that it'll pay off well, and people will be like, oh yeah, that Chris Barney, he got in early. He's like those guys that worked to Microsoft back in 1998, and now he worked at this great company, in the early days of that industry. So I mean, that's the dream, is that it grows into a mature industry like that people really rely on and are able to make some really cool advancements in for the benefit of everybody.
Okay. So, Joe, do you have any other questions?
Well, I feel like he kind of answered it, but my last question would be: do you think crypto is kind of here to stay, or do you think it might kind of fizzle, or what do you think of that?
Yeah, I definitely think it's here to stay. I don't know which coins or tokens or assets are going to be here to stay, but I think the technology itself is just has so much possibility. I mean, I can't imagine a world where the internet disappears. So I can't imagine a world where like crypto technology, the blockchain, disappears now. I think it's here to stay, but the winners might not be Bitcoin and Ethereum. We might have a whole different cryptocurrency that wins out and that we end up using daily for transactions. Who knows? It's still really early. People thought
maybe your coin, the Chris coin.
That'd be great. I would be really happy with that. But I mean, people thought Yahoo might be the top search engine a while ago. So who knows? It could be
Oh, Yahoo, rest in peace.
You remember like Ask Jeeves? Yeah, like there's.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a real person.
No. Well, Chris, this is fun. We have 3 more questions for you, but they're quick fire questions before you go.
Okay.
But how can people find you if they want to on social medias?
I am very poor social media poster.
Okay, well then there you go.
But I'm actually starting a new Instagram account. It's called The Guy Edit. I'm going to be reviewing some guy products. Basically stuff my wife buys me off the internet and tells me to use.
Oh.
I'm going to say if I like it or not.
Okay.
So
Like your fancy conditioner.
I know.
like conditioner, yeah. So apparently, yeah.
No Dove for Men for you. That's what I use.
Why? It says for men.
Yeah.
Oh! So, all right. So, Chris, here are quick fire questions for you. Okay, you ready? You just have to, whatever comes to your mind first, all right? So, what chore do you always try to get out of when it comes to the kids?
Oh, changing diapers. That's the worst.
Why? Why?
There's just so much poop. We have two babies, a 3-year-old that's mostly potty trained, and a dog. If I can get out any diaper changing, it's great.
So much poop.
Some days it's just like I've cleaned up poop from like 4 different beings. I'm just don't want to do that. I'm like tapped out. So
I hope one of those beings is you.
no, not even including me.
It's like being gay.
We need to get a bidet. When we get a bidet sponsor from Tushy, we'll give you one.
Well, we already have our Manscaped sponsorship, so that's something you could probably review is use our Manscaped code 2gays and get 20% off any purchase at manscaped.com.
You know what?
Nick will send you the link.
I've had one for like 2 years, and it definitely gets 2 thumbs up. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
time for a new one.
It's time for a new one. Yeah.
The holidays are right around the corner.
I need to restock the. I like the products like the. They have like the ball chafing product.
The ball deodorant.
Yeah, the ball deodorant. Like I forgot that when I went to Disneyland last week, and it was not good. So anyway,
Aquaphor. You can have slippery thighs that way.
All right.
Yeah.
So, question number 2. What flavor baby food would you eat if no one was looking?
Oh.
Oh my gosh, pears.
Pears?
Yeah.
What about you?
I have what are the flavor options?
I think it's like anything. You mash anything into a baby food.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pizza. I mean, would I Vitamix it?
I mean, it already comes like if it's...
Oh, are we talking about Gerber?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no clue. Isn't it like carrot or like peas?
I would do like pumpkin squash.
Okay.
I'm all about the gourds.
Oh, you know what? That's good.
Yeah.
Or maybe... Yeah.
All right. So if you had a token, like you made up your own, what would it be called?
Oh my gosh, Chris Coin. This is like the most vain way to go, you know? Name it after yourself.
What about you, Joe?
I have no idea. What would your coin be? I
think it would be called Sonic, because every time we talk about tokens or coins or something like that, all I can see is Sonic the Hedgehog running around. And it's like on screen collecting tokens and coins. That's all I can see.
Maybe I could think of like coin slot.
Oh, is that like your butthole?
Butt crack. Also, I want to say that for like the past 30 minutes, Cooper has been cuddling on my like lap, and it's been so nice. It's just like he's just like nestled his head right here. I was like, Cooper.
All right, well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us and enlightening us with your knowledge. We really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. And thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.
We want to take this time to thank our sponsor, Manscaped. And we want to remind you, don't forget, you get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TUGAYS, that's TUGAYS, at manscaped.com.
Use that code now to unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.